Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. Just one more video about Solo, I guess, right? Is it something that I don't care about Solo the movie? As a matter of fact, I think I don't care so much I can't believe the hype. I mean, as far as how bad it's considered. And I think that it's just way put upon for this movie. And bear with me, because I know I just triggered a whole bunch of people to the keyboards to go, but this movie sucked, you said that the last chosen. Yeah, trust me, this isn't that kind of video. The thing is I honestly think that this movie was so much air and nothing. It was so much fan service. That's what the problem is. Now, first of all, I'm gonna talk about the movie in just a little bit. I really do want to talk about the hype. But I don't think the movie was good or bad enough to warrant any of this, in all honesty. It's amazing that, yeah, at the box office, and you can point to certain things. I'm going to point to them as well. And, of course, Kathleen Kennedy is being thrown under the bus, mainly because she promised Harrison Ford that the characters would be taken care of, and clearly they're not. And the weird thing about that is, if you look at Kathleen Kennedy's resume, if you look at her bibliography, if you look at the list of movies she's been on or worked on, you should look at her and go, oh, okay, like I did. They're putting Kathleen Kennedy in charge. Awesome, man. She's done some great films. And I was excited because the woman knows what sells. However, it's just like I said about wanting your favorite comic book character to come back. Not in this climate. Shit, this is the wrong time to bring Star Wars back. Not because Star Wars is bad. Star Wars is not bad. Star Wars is awesome. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi still exist. It's the people who are working in entertainment today that are the problem. And even Kathleen Kennedy, who's done good movies and know what good movies look like, has been affected by this. By the whole activist bullshit that's going on everywhere. Everyone. It's all over now. So, yeah, having your, oh, wow, I'm so glad they're making, no. You're not going to get me excited because you're going to remake one of my 80s classics these days, because I know it's going to be filled with 2010s activism. Sorry. It's just not going to get me excited. So, but I have to admit, disappointed when I saw that Kathleen Kennedy was not living up to what she said. And I'm not a person who hates on Last Jedi like everybody else does. I think there were scenes in there that felt like a Star Wars movie. Put together, the movie falls apart. It's kind of weird. It's like a Star Wars clip show that when you attach a narrative to it just crumbles. And no, I don't think that the characters were treated the way they should have been. I liked it a little bit better the first time I saw it. Since I've seen it more times, I'm like, oh, you know what? I get it now. So yeah, you can actually go back and hear me talk about, no, Star Wars Last Jedi was good. And the more I've seen it, it's kind of like Batman and Robin, where I always try to watch it just because I can't believe it's that bad. I do. I actually watch it going, it can't. My memory has to be wrong. Yet every time, there it is. It's shit. That's the way I'm getting with Star Wars Last Jedi. It's like, no, that one scene is cool, but take that scene. Let's just have a clip show. A Last Jedi clip show, and that would be fine. And then with the rest of it, let's just have a clip show of Mark Hamill bad-mouthing it and bad-mouthing the way that the characters were treated and written, because I'm telling you right now, I don't think there's too many things that are more entertaining than watching Luke Skywalker, of all people, shit all over the way that Luke Skywalker was treated in the movie The Last Jedi. Anywho, getting back to the subject at hand, and some people will say, well, aren't you going to talk about Solo? But so far, this video has not been about Solo. And I've been trying to talk about the hype around Solo. About how many, oh my God, it sucks. And why did it suck? And who made it suck? And why does this person think it sucks over here? And that person over there thinks it sucks, but for different reasons. So suckity suck. And that's what this, if you haven't gotten it, that's what the video is about. And I'm telling you, it just ain't that good, guys. It isn't. It's not. And by that I mean, at least, you know, when you watch a very, very bad movie, you know it. I mean, heck, some of you thought that way with Last Jedi. This movie, when I watched it, it was like it didn't even register that it was Han Solo. This could have literally been anyone doing what they're doing. And that's the problem. If it wasn't for the fan service. Hey, he mentioned the Kessel Run. Wait, that guy's named Lando Calrissian, like in that Star Wars movie. If it wasn't for that kind of thing, and all the characters being named the same, this is not Han Solo. That's not Star Wars. It's, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like somebody took your action figures and did a completely different story with it. And it was boring. Now, there were some good parts. But overall, you know, I'm not going to put this at the feet of Ron Howard for sure. I think he did his best with what he had. The movie did go briskly. It wasn't uneven. The lulls were matched by the action scenes. The humor was there to match the dramatic scenes. Ron Howard is a very capable director, and I think he did all he could with what he had. I liked Chewbacca in this film. I did. I liked the way that they met. The whole bit with the Beast where it kind of was a callback to Return of the Jedi. I liked basically the scenes that focused on Chewbacca were enjoyable and entertaining. I enjoyed that. Some people may not. Can't help that. I can't speak to what other people's opinions are. I can only speak to mine. I dug it. Although he did move differently from Chewbacca's in the past. That was weird. If you're going to cast 2 wooden boxes to play your leads, do not get scene-stealingly good actors like Woody Harrelson and Paul Bettany to play your side character and your main villain. It does not make the rest of the film look good. It makes their scenes look awesome, and then you wonder, why aren't the rest of the scenes as good as the scenes with these 2 actors in them? Because the rest of the film just looks worse. Let's face it, gang, we've seen Khaleesi act in Game of Thrones. We know that she can do it. We know she could carry off a dramatic scene as well as humor, as well as romance. She has all the chops, but she brought none of them to the table here. As I said before, there were 2 wooden boxes cast as the leads in Solo, and she is one of them. I just don't understand why she didn't bring her A game, or maybe halfway through she just got bored, because she looks bored and it bores us. He was all right. Yeah, I'll say it. I thought Lando Calrissian, he was good in this film. Not like excellent or anything, but compared to the rest of them, definitely serviceable. He's possibly, you could rename him from Lando to fan service because he had a lot of the fan service lines and such. But other than that, I didn't think he was offensive at all. I didn't think he was offensive. What happened afterwards was. But yeah, Donald Glover, he gets a pass. I would have rather have seen a Lando movie than a Han Solo movie anyway, and if he was starring in it, I think it would be pretty cool. I would much rather see the story of how a guy goes from being a smuggler / gambler scoundrel to being the head of Bespin. That is a story that can be told with Han Solo as a side character, because it leads to what I'm about to talk about, and that is Han Solo himself, the guy's name I don't remember. And I'm not going to try to read now, because if he's not going to be Han Solo, I'm not going to remember his real name. And in this, we're going to title this particular segment, Aren't You a Little Short to Be a Solo? Did anybody else feel that? Like, isn't Harrison Ford like 6'2", 6'4" at his prime when he was young enough to play Han Solo in Star Wars? Wasn't he that? I may be wrong. I thought he was like over 6 feet tall. Does this kid look short to you? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but when I looked at him, I thought, you look like you're fully grown adult, but are you going to grow another foot to be Harrison Ford height? We know what Harrison Ford looks like at the age, or at least a little bit younger than what they're portraying. And I'm sorry, once you reach a certain height, you don't have growth spurts. And it's not like it's bad. It's just not there. You took one of the most iconic characters of all time, and instead of making Han Solo, you made Bob. But being dull, being bland, and just being air is a hell of a lot better than being this. misstep, this abomination. What's the name? L3... Kathleen Kennedy. Can we just call this Kathleen Kennedy? This robot is all the activism that Kathleen Kennedy represents and she wanted in the movie. Was she doing the voice? I don't know. I could believe it. This is where the movie took a misstep. It's like they were telling a story and then they right into a wall, gang. Just big, fat fucking show stop so they could do this. Robots unite! And I think there was a little feminism in there. And did she allude to the fact that she wanted to... Oh, well, I'm not interested in Lando, but I think... She didn't say they banged. I heard something about... Oh, they alluded to the fact that Lando had sex with a robot. Nope. She said that she thought that Lando wanted to have sex with her. There wasn't like, I remember this one time. No. But just that alone, oh God, please save us. Ah, Lord in heaven. But that's what really was the problem here. The story got stopped for activism. That's been the biggest problem with a lot of the stories that we complain about in the comics. You are sacrificing story for activism. And they did that here. And it was such a showstop. It was such a misstep that it truly affected the rest of the film. It didn't mess with the pacing. Like I said, that was done well. Ron Howard did a good job. It messed with the script. It's like instead of doing a complete and flowing story, they had one of the Wayans brothers walk in and go, "Message!" and then walk right on out. I understand why someone would want to rail off on this movie. It gets clicks. I mean, have you seen YouTube? I mean, oh my gosh, so many people going off on this film, and I can understand it. But as far as the hatred and all that kind of stuff, I gotta say this movie does not deserve it. And I say that in the worst way possible. I know some people would hear it as, "You like this movie?" I'm sorry, that's how I hear something like that anyway. If you're not writing out a clear message or something, I don't pay attention too much to it. It just sounds like that. Anyway, I know some people will hear it that way, but trust me, I'm saying it in the worst way possible. This movie is not worth it. It isn't. It's not that great. It's not that bad. It's a flat line. If this movie, here's my thing. I said this before. This movie suffered one from the fact that they refused to move it. Okay, just 3 weeks earlier, we had Avengers and then we had Deadpool. There's an empty slot in August. They should have moved it up to August. Give time for it to be polished, put it out, boom, it's by itself. It would have done a hell of a lot better because it would have been the big ticket item. Right now, it's going against Deadpool. We still have the bad taste of Last Jedi in our mouth that would separate it that far. It would have given time to hype it some more because they didn't even put previews out until after Black Panther. So this was the less hype. There's so many factors that doesn't even have to do with the movie itself that went into making this as much of a bomb as it happened to be, that they should have paid attention, but they just didn't listen. Even if they put it out at Christmas, I know they want to protect Mary Poppins, but those are two different audiences, at least different enough that it wouldn't have affected it that much. It would have done better against Mary Poppins, and Mary Poppins would have done well against it because you do have two different audiences going to those two different movies. So even before you watch a fucking frame of this movie, you have so many things going against it. But then when you watch it and you realize this movie could literally be about anybody. Change the names. Change the names of the planet. Change the language. And it could be about anyone. Oh, I completely forgot about this character, but then again, didn't we all? So I'm not going to feel bad about it. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? So what do you think about all this hate hype? Do you think it's warranted, or are you like me where you think this movie didn't register enough to get all the hate hype? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have an opinion on my opinion about what I said about the movie, by all means, I would love to hear it. Also, if you haven't done it already, click like, share to get word out about the channel. That's always a good thing. And, you know, Don't forget to hit subscribe or notifications if you haven't done it. Cool things happen around these parts. Hate for you to miss it. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living. So if you don't mind helping out the channel, we're trying to get a better computer and better software to make better videos. Would love any help you can give. $1 is less than the cost of a candy bar a month. Like, thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching. Oh, and on that Patreon thing, we do patron-only content, so we do give back. Once again, thank you, and here are the credits.
What the hell is this? Get off my lawn. Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now.
The Kessel Run wasn't about fucking speed. The fuck is going on here? This is the biggest insult to all Star Wars fans, all Han Solo fans, that this movie has to offer. I know a lot of people are like, but the droid is so XJW. And yeah, that does hack me off too. It didn't need to be there, but you fuck up the Kessel Run? Give me a goddamn break. Jesus, Lord in heaven. How do you fuck up the... You make it quick. He could have been zigging and zagging through the fucking falling rocks or whatever you have to do. You make it about speed because all of the fucking talk about the Kessel Run was all about, well, this is the fastest ship and fastest. And then they don't make it about speed. And hey, I like the fact that what they did with the navigation, but it should have been about fucking speed. Because every time it was brought up in conjunction with how fast the Falcon was. That, my friends, was a god betrayal.